Oh, you know what? I have to get.
How did this happen?
That's is this your first beer that you've ever poured into a glass? Did you shake it?
But don't break it.
There's only one way to do this.
Took me and your mama. No. 9 months to make it. Are you just gonna look at bikes all day? You're like we're like getting ready to go, and you're gonna look at you're looking at bike stuff.
I got mixed up, and then there was a Paris Hilton video on.
Ooh la la!
Yeah, she was looking pretty good too.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
How old is Paris Hilton now?
She'll forever be dumb to me. Yes, how old she is. I don't know. She's got to be in her 30s now.
Okay. Yeah, I don't
really know.
Yeah. I don't party with
I only
kids,
saw her in that one thing.
Oh. Hey, we have matching shirts on tonight.
Oh, we do.
We're like that B-52s video. Everybody had matching towels.
Okay.
So hold on though, Chris.
I'm going to erase all the bicycle stuff.
Forgot my very excellent hat that I think reminds me of Tom Lawton, the guy from Billy Jack. But Billy Jack didn't have a pencil rolled edge.
No,
I do.
This was
yeah. A lot of people get that wrong, but what are you gonna do?
You've become quite the hattist.
I'm a little bit of a hatophile. Not like, not like some people, but yeah, but I don't know what they call it.
Matt is a hatter.
Now,
I know.
I will take exception with that. Hey, everybody, this is Matt. We're at Texas Toast Guitars. Thanks for watching another Thursday. Do we have a reveal tomorrow?
Possibly. Might have.
Oh, that's right. But we do have another Thursday hangout, have a beer with Uncle Matt and Uncle Chris. Mm-hmm. And we're going to talk about guitars, and we're going to talk about, you know what? We're going to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about, because it's that kind of party.
It is.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if you need me to help you pour beer into a glass, then I'm more than willing to help.
Yep.
Hey, speaking of beer, Chris from Odyssey Beer Works came over yesterday, and he brought, I don't know if you guys can see this. This is okay. So this is an empty can. Okay. But this is the label and the can. And then what will go inside of this will be the bourbon barrel aged Texas Toast Red. And I think there's a very conservative alcohol rating of 6%. I think you should probably add like a 1 or a 2 to
or
that.
Multiply it times 2.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's really excellent. So the label is super cool, and it's black, but there's a bunch of cool little red writing on the hood.
Sublimated Texas Toast logo.
Yeah, it's rad.
That's faint.
And then it's got some of our more popular images, the genuine stolen parts, but was changed to genuine stolen cans. And then it's got Odyssey Beer Works and some other people who I can't read because my arms aren't long enough. And the Powered by Evil logo. And I don't know if you guys can dig this, but it's faint, but there's strings going through the stickers, kind of like it's on a guitar. And then there's a quote.
Oh, is that what? Okay.
Yeah. And then there's a quote from yours truly, Uncle Matt. And I was inspired by Robin Williams when I came up with this quote, because everybody gives me grief about the beer that I drink. And so the quote is, I'll drink what I want, when I want, with whomever I want. And I don't care about what you want. And I don't. But it's really good, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So thank you to Joy for putting that together for us.
Yep.
That was excellent.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, really cool. Yeah, she's here.
There's a lot of people here.
Gary Redburn's here.
Hey,
Gary, we got I think the package was from you. We got a bunch of toys, and if it was from you, thank you very much.
Yeah, the toy drive
from Gary.
We assume it was from Gary Redburn because
he
had asked about it once before.
Yeah, it was really awesome of you. So thank you.
So it looks like we're already getting static for not getting the party started soon enough. So, hey, if you guys have a question about guitar building or guitar setup or beer drinking or hell raising, please put a bunch of question marks, and Chris and I will try to answer them to within the boundaries of gentlemanly decorum. So let's see if have
I
you.
haven't seen any questions
There
yet.
were some in the very, very
Were
beginning.
there? Okay.
I'm going to go back up here. Ryan Ellis, who will be here next week, says that his parents come in like 10 minutes. That was probably about 10 minutes ago. And then he's flying into Denver on Saturday, and he's on vacation. He's going to spend the week with us. That is going to be awesome. Spike the Frugal Fixer said that today he found Belt Sander Racing Association on YouTube. They have rules. Yeah, so I found out about the Belt Sander drag racing from Mojo Nixon's like MySpace page, I think, like that long ago. And we are kind of an outlaw Belt Sander drag race crew.
It's pretty much runway brung.
Yep.
Yeah, no real rules.
Nope.
We got a starting line. We got a finish line.
We got a starting line. We got a finish
Other
line.
than that,
We don't have any like rails.
no.
So if your belt sander doesn't track, then
if
you
you run
know,
and if you run
tough
into the other belt
rocks.
sander and break the other belt sander, well, that's just the way it goes, man. Maybe you should have brought up tougher belt sander.
belt sander drag racing is not for the timid.
No. I've read that there's been a big uptick in street belt racing.
Oh yeah.
Because they're blaming some of it on COVID.
Sure. Because you want to socially distance. You want to be outside belt sander racing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So then there's some things here. Some people chiming in. Dylan from Dylan Talks Tone is here. Okay. So I think we've got to the questions that I knew about. You ready to go?
Yep.
Okay.
So looks like Frugal Fixer Shop has a question.
All right.
My pin router is almost done, waiting for Dust Shield and Chuck due in Saturday. What half-inch shank bits do I need for the operations it will be best at doing? Got to make pins.
Okay. So that's super cool.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of pin routers, remind me to tell you a pin router story. You already know, but remind me to tell the audience a pin router story.
Hey, Matt.
No, not right now. So what half-inch cutters do you need? I would say invest in as many fluted cutters as you can afford.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one you're going to use the most of. Would you not agree?
Yeah.
Like a 2-inch or 1.5 inches at least.
Yeah.
Fluted cutter, all the solid carbide one. If you don't want to use those, that's cool. You can use the straight ones. They work just fine too. Upcut and downcut both work great. The difference is how much crap gets flung out of the cavity. If you're going to perimeter, then it's no big shake. But if you're like doing a cavity, then it just flings junk every which way. So
so we use probably the half-inch bits the most.
Yeah.
We use 1/4-inch bits.
Yeah, every so often. Like for truss rods
and stuff like that. We'll use smaller than that very, very rarely.
Yeah.
Roundover bits aren't a bad thing to have.
Yeah, a big roundover bit will help you do neck profiling, or at least get you started. I mean, help you do it. It'll get you a lot of the way there. Anyone who's been to one of our Wood, Sweat, and Beers workshops recently will tell you that hogging a bunch of that stuff off with a great big roundover bit makes short work of neck profiling.
Yep.
So
yeah. And I think if you're able to make pins for your pin router, you almost ought to just make one every 1/8 inch size from an 1/8 on up.
And if you're able to make pins, if you made some a little bit oversized, that might not be a bad idea, because as you all know, if you're doing the inside cut, say a neck pocket, and you want to make it a little snugger by increasing the diameter of the pin and keeping the diameter of the cutter the same, you actually make a smaller reset, or a smaller cut, a smaller path. So, and I'm not talking about much, but like 10 thousandths isn't a bad idea. I'm the master of wrapping tape around the pin until it's where I want it to be.
Yeah, that works pretty well too.
So, and it's cool because then you just peel the tape off.
Yeah, we do that a lot on neck pockets, because even it's hard to make a neck pocket template perfectly perfect in every way. Yeah, and it's nice to be able to kind of sneak up on a snug fit.
There's always, even if the template looks right and the neck fits perfectly in the template, 99 times out of 100, it's going to be too loose if you just run with it. Because there's some run out in the pin.
There's run out in the pin. There's run out.
I'm not happy about this shirt. I mean, I love this shirt, but I think I need to kind of shrink it up a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. Something. I don't know.
Clothespin.
You have your shirt's too big too. I need new shirts. So. I think so. Hulkamania style.
Just roll this up.
All right.
Over there. I'm right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see.
There's one from HL.
Oh, we're missing one. Did you get Michael Frizzell says, that size threaded inserts and bolts do you use for neck conversions and your own necks? I think what he's asking is what size threaded inserts we use when we put steel threaded inserts in a neck that is going to be screwed to the body. Right?
Yeah.
Now, I can't remember what size it is, but I think it's a 1038. I don't know. We'll have to look. If you go back and
the screws,
the screws and the threaded
832
832 screws. Okay.
Yeah.
And then whatever the outside
number 832 thread.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then the outside diameter that you will have to tap the maple with. I got a question about this. Maybe it was from Michael earlier. They're like, hey, how come you don't use the ones that are designed for wood and you use the ones designed for metal? The reason is the ones designed for wood are not designed for hard rock maple. They're designed for MDF furniture that you get at IKEA. I mean, it works great for that. But if you've ever tried to self-tap one of those bad dudes into rock maple,
yeah, it's almost impossible.
It's
double nutted. If you try and just screw them in with the
you absolutely want to use a tap and buy whatever tap that it is.
Yeah.
So you will be rewarded with excellent results.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you for that question, sir.
I was on. Well, I'm still there.
I'm here. HL asks,
there we go.
Have you used the Fret Guru crown file? Question. I have not.
No. Which one is that? Fret Guru crown file. That might be the one. I think I know which one that is. I'll look it up. We can look it up so we can look at it, but I have not used the Fret Guru fret crowning file. Not because I'm opposed to, using that stuff, but because I want to, I strive to be consistent with everything. It's very similar to the Stumac one.
Does it have an angle or is it a crown?
It's round crown. Yep.
Okay. I'm going to tell you
sizes. Yep.
Unless you can get
$42 on Amazon.
Okay. I have not used it. And frankly, oh wait, I thought I saw an angle version. If there's no angle version of the Fret Guru, I would advise you to not get it. Because what will happen is here's the way that frets, here's the timeline for frets. You get them all pressed in, you get everything done. And then when it's time to get the guitar put together, you need to level the frets, which means if there's anything high, you need to grind them down. And if there's anything low, you have to grind everything down to that level or replace that low fret. Then you'll have a bunch of flat spots on top of the frets. And then you will need to recrown them. Now, if your recrowning file is just a semicircle, it is possible to go too far and make the tops that you worked so hard to get level not be accurate anymore. So I don't like those for people who, if you don't have any, don't get that. If you don't have any fret crowning files, get the Stumac Z file. That's what I have. We have 10 of them here in the shop, and it stung to buy them, but we needed them for classes and stuff. So
yeah, and it's more expensive than that Fret Guru one by double, almost triple, 2.5 times, but it's totally worth it.
And it's a diamond file, so it'll last.
It's a really nice job, and it'll be the last thing you ever have to buy like that, and you'll wonder why you thought anything different before.
Now,
they're really nice.
Option 2 is you buy the Fret Guru, and then you go, this sucks. And then you buy the Stumac one, and you go, I should have bought this one first.
Yep. And then you have this Fret Guru file thing. That's kind of Okay.
Ask me how I know, right? Because we have a bunch of those
Mm-hmm.
before there was such a thing as the Z file, or and guys, I don't want to get started on whose intellectual property that is because I don't have a dog in that hunt. But imagine before that there was either those kind of half circle ones, semicircle ones, and even worse than that, there's those bummer triangle ones with the ground corners. I hate those. Some guys really like them. I hate them. But yeah, because I don't, you know what? I don't like doing fret work. No. I endeavor to get my frets pressed in exactly right. So there's the minimum amount of fret crowning needed.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, it's, I don't know. It's, you work to get them completely flat and perfect. And then you go at them with a tool that's going to make them not flat and perfect again.
Yeah.
Or level and perfect again.
But you know what though? It's like doing anything crafty, craft related. Like what takes the most time in paint work? It's the prep. And so if you do a really good job prepping your fretboard and getting it right, and you press the frets in and don't beat them in with a hammer, you press them in with an arbor press, the same amount of pressure on each one. If you want to glue them in, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. And if you do all that stuff right, and you don't have a weird radius that like it's not really touching, and so you got these bizarro frets that stick up. If you don't have any of that stuff because you did a good job with the with your prep work, then you won't have very much leveling to do, and you won't have very much crowning to do. So, yeah, I mean, you can't buy your way into doing that. You just got to put in the time. So,
yep.
And putting in the time is a cool thing to do. That's what separates. And I know I just said I don't like doing it, but doing it right, I would rather spend an hour getting the fretboard prepped properly and 5 minutes getting frets right than the other way around.
Yeah. I did 4 fret level and crowns this week, and they all went pretty dang smooth and were pretty fast. And I did them almost back to back, which I hate doing 4 things, the same thing 4 times.
We've got some beautiful looking challengers that are waiting for rings.
Yeah. The neat thing about that is it's kind of it if you take a little bit more time in all the other parts that you were talking about, pressing them in, getting the board right, doing all of that, the little bit of time that you spend doing that, you'll save double or triple that at the other end, doing fret levels. And it's a bummer when you have a fret that's wrong and you sit there grinding and and all of a sudden you have all these really low, really wide frets or a couple of those. Yeah. And then you get to try and make that fret look like all the others.
Yeah, you become the human pleck machine at that point, and it sucks.
So yeah.
So that's a great question, even though the answer that we gave you was really around the barn. But so I think if you do your prep work, you won't have to have a bunch of that stuff. Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
Right. Okay. Let's see. Are you seeing any others? Oh, there's a super. Hey, let's take a super chat.
Okay.
From Paul 1060. Thank you, Paul. Paul writes, Matt and Chris, where do you source your metal neck reinforcement rods, square or round? Carbon fiber is getting expensive. Paul in Rashmi from Paul and his wife, who I get her name wrong all the time, but she says delightful things on Instagram posts. Rashmi from New York City. Well, thank you, Paul and Rashmi. I rarely use carbon fiber rods for necks, and I prefer steel rods for necks. The cost of steel of 1/8 by 1/4 by 2 foot steel rods versus 1/8 by 1/4 by 2 foot carbon fiber rods it's 10 times more to get the carbon fiber ones. I think I pay like $2 for the steel ones, and it's heavier. But a lot of guys, people get this mixed up, and carbon fiber is here's the standard industry jargon, the standard industry hyperbole. Carbon fiber is stronger than steel. And that's where people leave it. Now, while you could while you could qualify that to be accurate, it's not always just cut and dry. Carbon fiber is stronger than steel every single time. You know what I mean? So, for example, if you had a block of steel and you were going to make, I don't know, a cylinder head for a motorcycle, whatever, and you had a block of carbon fiber and you were going to machine it out, well, that wouldn't work.
Right.
Now, that's not what you do with carbon fiber, but so carbon fiber gets laid up, and for a similar size, for less weight, carbon fiber is as strong as steel, or maybe even stronger if weight is an issue. But make no mistake, the reason that we don't have carbon fiber railroad tracks isn't because carbon fiber is so awesome. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's expensive, and I frankly I don't think you need it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't use a carbon fiber truss rod, and you could probably make one of those. But yeah,
you could. I always wondered, so the common thought is that you run two reinforcing rods on either side of the truss rod. Why? And if weight's an issue, why do you need two?
Yeah,
just run one, especially in a guitar neck.
Yeah,
that's a lot of extra stuff for not a very long span.
And this goes back to prep again. If you source your woods and choose your woods wisely, the reason that you put carbon fiber or steel or anything in a neck is because you want the neck to resist moving. Well, if you get wood that's properly seasoned, that's really kind of a non-issue. That Jim's Strat, it was built in the 50s. It doesn't have any carbon fiber rods in it. Somehow or another, it still plays great. So,
yep, that's true. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
I love these Q&As.
Yeah, they're fun.
I have a
Todd Johnson wants to know, how do I check if my three-way is bad? Everything seems to work off the multimeter.
This sounds like a great question for Chris while I go get another drink.
Okay. We'd probably have to know more information, but since you have a multimeter, you can check just conductivity from each part. Go from the in lug to the out lug, and just kind of check that. And then after that, if everything kind of checks out that way, then you can, if it's hooked up, you can go to ohms and check and see if you're getting the pickups to actually register. And I just start at the pickups, and then I'll go, if it's pickups to the switch first, I'll go pickups to the switch, make sure that I'm getting the reading there, and then I'll go from the switch down to the volume pot maybe. If it's the other way around, I'll go from pickup to volume pot, like on the Les Paul, and check that and see, and just sort of trace it around until you get to the output jack. And
troubleshooting wiring is a real
it's a real bummer. Yeah. So we'd have to know more. But three-way switches are pretty simple little things, and sometimes it can be something really dumb, like the tab will get bent or something like that, especially if it's an older one. So yeah, it's a little better.
Yeah, it's considerably better than my previous pour.
Is that 2 fingers? Yeah, that's about right. Yeah. So yeah, just you can also unsolder everything and check it that way too. You can also just replace it, but I'd play around with the multimeter some more. There you go.
There's a lot of people chiming in about the Z file.
Yeah.
I am a believer, and guys, I don't get sent one from Stuart McDonald to say the Z file is awesome.
No, and everybody that's come to a class and gotten to use one, if they've had any experience at all with any kind of other fret file, they're like, man, this thing rules.
Yeah.
So
I got to get one of these. You know who I do get sent one from though? All of our terrific sponsors, such as Dylan McCurchie from Dylan Talks Tone and his lovely wife, Leslie. I actually got an email from Dylan that said that somebody bought some stuff.
Oh, cool.
Link in the description below, guys, to Dylan Pickups. And if you buy stuff from that link, we get, we get a little something.
We get a little something.
Yeah.
Dylan.
We get a little
It's
taste.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
And so that's a very cool thing. Not to mention, we really like Dylan's pickups, and we really like Dylan too.
Mhm.
I mean, his remote control car has nothing from my belt sander, but yeah. So Dylan Pickups, and he's a person who helps us. So help him.
Mhm.
He's a cool guy.
Yep. There you
go. You know who else helps us?
Yes.
Who, Chris?
You just go ahead, because
Like from Flipside
the one
Music,
I was
the
gonna go with.
great American guitar store. Chris and I were actually there today.
Pre-open.
Pre-open, we had
Got the
to.
store to ourselves.
We had the run of the place.
I was standing on amps.
It was great.
awesome.
You were
Doing
doing
my
power
best.
slides.
Yeah.
It was rad.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Then I kicked me out.
Yeah. But we had to get some cases because we sold some guitars today.
We did, yeah.
And we sold some classes today and yesterday. Speaking of selling classes and speaking to coming to classes or workshops, the Wood, Sweat, and Beers workshops, Steve from Maximum Guitars, another one of our very generous sponsors, has a thing set up to where if you come to one of our classes, you get a discount on templates. Now, this is particularly cool because if you call him beforehand, you can use your templates that you get from Steve here at the workshop. I hate saying class. I don't know why class seems like a bad word to me. And if you don't want to do that, you have like a week or two. I think it's a week after your workshop is concluded to go, man, those templates really were badass. I'm going to get some of those and still save a little bit of money. Cool. So I have a spreadsheet, and I'm gonna let everyone know who's coming to classes that, look, if you want to build a Strat, or you want to build a Telly, or you want to build insert whatever you want to build here, that Steve has a template, jig, or tool, you get money off. Cool. So, and if you spend more than $50, you get free shipping. And I don't know how he does it, because
you should see his shipping.
Yeah, it's like
if you haven't gotten something from him, it's his attention to detail follows through even on packaging.
Yep.
Yeah. He brought that thing over the other day, and I'm like, so what? It's a piece of folded up cardboard with a neck template.
Yeah, I'm like, whoop-de-doo. Yeah.
Oh,
but no,
here it is. Yeah. So he laser cuts cardboard for the piece to fit in, and then sandwiches it between two more pieces of cardboard.
It's over the top.
It really is. Yeah. How do you do it? Well, it's more just labor intensive.
It sure seems like it. Yeah. But I mean, I never thought about it. Like, that's one of the reasons that we don't make templates.
Right.
Because we don't want to be guys who ship stuff around and then have something get damaged. And so Steve's figured it out, and more power to him. He's doing a great job.
Yep. Sean Emmenheiser wants to know, what's the magic trick you use to cut a 5-way blade switch slot perfect? There's several different ways you can do it.
That is a magic trick. Yeah. Well, so we use the pin router to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So the trick is we have an oversized slot,
mm-hmm.
and a very small cutter.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have a 16th cutter.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if the slot is, say for the sake of conversation, a 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch,
mm-hmm.
or 1 inch or 2 miles, the center is the center.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't be 2 miles.
Right.
So you're able to use that as the you're able to use that, and that's the same way with, like, for example, Steve's neck truss rod and insert his stiffening rod insert jigs. Use a 5/8 collet, but the center is the same, so you can. And the cool thing about having it be 5/8 is you can use a 16th bit or a 1/2 inch bit, and you still have this great big collet.
Yeah.
But that's how I do it. Now, if you want to dazzle your friends and win friends and influence people yourself with your own amazing magic tricks of how to do that, I use a Dremel tool with just a base.
Mm-hmm.
The Stu Mac one is the one that I have, but you don't have to have that one. And I just put a little fence there and just kind of drag it along. Now, what I will tell you is go a little bit across the grain.
Mm-hmm.
Do not go with the grain, because if you do, it is likely that it's going to crack
and get longer
than you want. And then that magic trick is going to turn into, it's not a trick. It's just a dead pigeon in your hat.
Yep.
Nobody wants that, baby.
Nope.
All right.
Good. Spanjer wants to know, why is Poplar looked down on?
That's
Hello
a cool name.
from Iceland.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, thank you for watching from Iceland. I think that Poplar is looked down on because people are dicks. I think Poplar is awesome.
Yeah, I think it's good too. I think one of the reasons Poplar is looked down on is because it is a cheaper wood. It is cheaper to buy.
By the way,
Always
Ryan,
has
if
been.
you're watching and you make a shirt for me that says, I think Poplar is looked down on because people are dicks, I will totally wear that.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's always been a cheaper wood. Cheap guitars have always been made out of Poplar. And I think that's just where it starts is, if Dan Electro uses it, if Harmony uses it, it must not be a very good wood.
Poplar has gone up in price a little bit. In fact, basswood is now like 5 or 10 cents less a board foot than Poplar.
Yeah.
I don't think it used to be like that here in Colorado.
No, I don't think so either. I think they fluctuate. But
what do you think about if you were going to make, basswood versus Poplar, how do you come
on
down?
bodies? I don't really care either way.
Okay.
We don't make necks out of Poplar,
or basswood
traditionally, or basswood. But traditionally, some people have made necks out of Poplar. I don't know that I've ever heard of a basswood neck.
No.
So
no.
And if I was learning how to make necks, I'd make them out of Poplar.
It's a good idea. Yeah, to kind of do a test run. You're not necessarily going to need to bolt it up to anything, but
but it might actually even work.
Machines really easily.
Yeah.
It's really affordable.
Yeah. The downside to Poplar, at least for me here locally, is sometimes it's a little heavy.
And sometimes it's green.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if you're using it as paint grade wood, I don't mind if it's green or dark purple or brown or anything.
All right. I asked you before, like basswood and Poplar, where do you come down? How about this? And I know what you're going to say. If you're going to paint it, Poplar versus Alder. Now, Alder's easily double the money.
Yeah.
Where do you come down on Poplar versus Alder?
Probably if I'm going to paint it, Poplar is just fine.
Yeah.
To me.
Yep.
I have a bunch of guitars made out of Poplar and I like them all.
Not to mention Poplar doesn't check on the end grain like Alder does.
With. Yeah.
And we've seen
machines a lot.
You and I have seen it, man, like at the NAMM show at the Fender booth, which is beautiful. There's Alder guitars and there's big checks in the end grain, and it's just it's just the way it is.
Yeah, there's like ice T burst, like really light burst around the edges, and you could see end grain checking and where they'd filled it, and it gets dark. There's no way to not make it dark.
I'm not saying that Poplar won't do that, but Alder seems to do that a lot here.
Alder seems to do it almost every time you do it. Doesn't matter. You can start out with a piece this big and machine it down this big, and it still does it. It still splits, and you can almost watch it do it as you cut it and go.
And it's a bummer because you have this beautiful piece of Alder that you're going to paint black, and it's got these giant cracks in the end.
You still have to deal with it. It's still a pain in the butt. So and Poplar doesn't do that. Basswood's a little soft sometimes.
The other thing,
depending on what you're doing with it.
We kind of strive to make very lightweight instruments, and so but we choose to do that by making them hollow because I think there's some other advantages to that.
Yeah.
However, I think that you can get too much of that good thing.
Too much light.
Yeah. So if you have a big body, like when we did the Billy Bows, we used basswood for those, and that was great because the body's a little bit big, so it wasn't like it weighed nothing.
Right.
But I think
then you bolted giant Bigsby on it.
Oh, that's right.
Chunk of metal,
a big hunk of metal.
You got a couple of pickups that aren't exactly light, and next thing you know, those guitars, for as light as the bodies were, they felt about average in the end.
Yeah.
And if we'd used regular weight bodies, they probably would have felt heavy.
Yeah.
By
Yeah.
the time it was all said and done.
Yeah, I think so too.
So yeah.
Okay. Looks like Drudel wants to know, do we need a code to get the maximum discount if we are signed up for a class? Yes, you do need the code, and yes, I will send it to you. And how far out do you invoice for the balance when signing up for a class? If there was a person who like interned here, it would be right away. Because it's me, I'm terrible at sending out invoices. That's one of the things, of the many things that I have to do, that's one of the things I have to do. And Devin, I promise you I will do that no later than Sunday. I will get everybody out an invoice for their thing. Maybe I'll come in early tomorrow and just do that.
You're also just allowed to just send us money.
Yeah, just keep sending us hundreds and we'll tell you when to stop.
We'll tell you when to stop. Trust us.
You can trust us.
Yeah.
You could trust us.
Look at our faces. Yeah. Do you think?
Hey, it's your old Uncle Matt and Uncle Chris.
Yeah.
We're not going to let you down.
Yep. Richard Otterino wants to know, will all the top of the line challengers have natural wood binding? I think that looks awesome.
Richard is a super cool guy.
Uh-huh.
And yes, the standard model challengers will have wood binding. There will be some instances where a challenger gets plastic or celluloid binding. Generally, that will be on the neck. So if you follow us on social media, you will have seen the TV Yellow Challenger that we did. I know Richard saw because he commented and he said it was awesome. That actually has black binding on the neck, but it doesn't have body binding. There's a couple of them that are coming up that are going to have, so like Tony's fabric top, carved top Challenger, that's going to get plastic binding. Demerol Dave's fabric top Challenger, that's going to get cream plastic binding. But yeah, as far as, and you know why those guys are getting, well, Tony actually specifically asked that for that because, and he's getting a fabric top and he's getting it, his is a little bit different than everybody else's. Why Demerol Dave wanted not one of those is I got nothing because those are so rad. Not that the one he's getting isn't super badass too, but those are like, you know, Chris, I know that our stuff rules. It's just going to take a little while for everybody else to figure it out.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
You guys already know, but yeah.
Yep. Cool. Hang on.
I was going to tell you a pin router story.
Oh yeah. Hey Matt, don't forget to tell the pin router story.
Yeah. So the other day, our good friend Brian Nutter, who is a wonderful human being and is married way outside of his integer, and yeah, has beautiful kids,
showing it off.
Yeah,
on Facebook.
Just kind of jamming it in everyone's face.
Just,
check out my supermodel.
Settle
life.
down.
Yeah, simmer down, Brian. And he's just like this cool guy. He wears like leather pants and has like a Marshall schematic tattooed on his. He's a cool guy.
Leather pants.
I don't know if he has.
Is that the over under?
Yeah, leather pants.
Cool guys is leather pants.
I'm not sure. Well, I don't know if he wears leather pants.
I know he has a leather vest.
He does have a leather vest.
I'm sure he has leather pants.
How can he not?
Yeah, used to hang out with Keith Urban all the time.
Taylor Swift.
Several pair. Of leather pants.
Yep, probably.
Yeah, might even have leather shorts. I don't know.
like
leather capri pants.
Have
you ever seen those?
Leather shorty shorts.
Yeah, well, yeah, those too.
Like maybe for like, I don't know if you're in a parade or something.
Leather cargo shorts from Target. That's
all
they had.
That's a thing, dude. Anyway, so whether or not Brian has leather shorty shorts, that's a rumor I don't mind spreading. And but he got this great big new Laguna 5-axis CNC.
5 tool change.
5 tool change. Yeah, which basically means that Brian is dead to us.
That's what I said.
Yes.
And you said, "Oh man, hey."
Yeah. If we didn't love Brian as much as we do, we would. Yeah, he would be dead to us.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the picture and I'm like, hey, Brian, what are you gonna do with that jet pin router in the background?
In the background, yeah, it's sitting there with stuff stacked on it.
Yeah, it's exactly like the beloved pin router was at the OME Banjo Factory.
Yeah. It might have even still had banjo parts on it.
It absolutely did.
Brian's
might.
garage,
Yeah, that's true. So I feel awesome that I was able to rescue that pin router from the being have to be around a bunch of banjo stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Brian goes, I was just about to call you. I wanted to know if you wanted it. And I'm like, well, hell yeah, I want it. So it's really just a matter of how we go to Nashville and get it. Mm-hmm. And Brandon was like, yeah, I'll do it. So the really the big baller move would be to fly there, rent a truck, pay some guy to bring it back, and then fly back. Yep. The slightly less baller move would be to fly there, rent a truck, put it in the truck, and drive it back. Now, that gets dicey, going from Nashville to Colorado in the wintertime. Mm-hmm. So far, we haven't had any issues, but if you've ever driven, that like Kansas stretch, mm-hmm. there's a whole lot of flat and a whole lot of weather can happen. So
yeah, that can. This is the perfect year to go. It's like everything's lining up.
It's like everything's falling into place for us to have Brian Nutter's jet pin router.
Yeah, we have to have him sign it before it leaves his.
I don't want him touching my new pin router. No, Brian. No, we love Brian. He's a cool guy.
But it's No, I mean you have to have these things like documented, right?
Oh yeah. It has to have parlance.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and a bill of sale and I Brian Nutter.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool guy extraordinaire.
Of being of sound mind.
My wife.
Yeah, check out my old lady. Yeah.
Owned this pin router, label number, Yeah.
All right, here's a motorcycle question. Matt, what Harley do you ride? Not to get off topic. Richard, I have never owned a Harley Davidson. I would love to have a Harley Davidson. I love motorcycles. And you will attest to this. Mm-hmm. When you are in a passenger in a car with me, I generally drive like a grandma.
Generally?
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. There's something about a motorcycle where I'm like, I want to be going 100 miles an hour all the time.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know what it is. I love motorcycles and I love going fast on motorcycles, and I get it. It's dangerous. And we saw a total organ donor this morning when we were on our way to Flipside Music, the great American guitar store. Mm-hmm. Guy was like lane splitting and doing wheelies.
Yeah, not doing it well.
Not doing it well.
Yeah, he almost got clipped.
I've never lane split. Uh-huh. So when I go fast, so like I'm a fair weather motorcycle rider, and I like there that Indiana road right. Kind of by where the not 5 Points, the nuclear reactor place flat, what was it called? There's a stretch of a road called Indiana that's basically not far from my house, but still in the middle of nowhere. Rocky Flats, thank you. And I would go there on like Sunday morning early. Nobody was there. And I would just like on a vintage bike, and I would just basically bomb the hell out of it. And you feel every single mile an hour of that wind, because you're not like in the attack position, like on a motorcycle that is made today that has R in the title. You know what I mean? So like if you get on like a bike from the 60s, especially a British bike, and you can get to 100, which I've never done on a vintage bike before, it's positively terrifying. And if you want to live, you gotta almost die. That's but I don't do that anymore. But I love motorcycles, and I would love to have a Harley Davidson. If I had a Harley Davidson, you're not going to like the answer that I would give you, because it would not be. Well, here's the Harley Davidson I would like to have. I would like to have the Sportster with the two big tires. I think they called it like the 48 or something.
Yeah.
And I would want to have a shovel head motor in it. I want to have a Shovester, which was kind of a classic thing. Basically, the 1200 Harley Davidson Sportster is basically that, but I would want to go old school and have the Sportster with the shovel head engine and make a period correct Shovester. So yeah, I love motorcycles. Anyway, okay. Have you ever been a motorcycle guy, Chris?
No, I've never been a motorcycle guy. I would like to be a motorcycle guy. And a couple of times I was almost a motorcycle guy.
You think you would go fast on a motorcycle?
I think that might be an issue for me. Yes,
you might want
to. Would,
dude. There's something about like how easy it is to go like from nothing to pretty quick, and then you're like, well, I'm already going pretty quick. I might as well go WFO on this hill. Yeah.
I growing up, I wasn't allowed to even say the word motorcycle.
No.
And as a young adult, I just never really got into them. I always thought there's time for that later.
I had a girlfriend many, many years ago whose mother died on a motorcycle. And so I was like, no, you're not getting a motorcycle.
Yeah. So, but I found this really cool, like 74 Yamaha. I can't remember what it was because it was so long ago, but it was a really cool bike. And it just looked like it would be fun to just like cruise around.
I want to say some of those Yamahas were basically Triumphs
near my house. And it was, and I was like, it's not going to be fast. It's not going to, but it's going to be fun. Right. I didn't do it.
The power to weight ratio on a bike, even a big bike,
right.
Your closing speed is quick.
Yeah. But it's not going to be anything I couldn't, as a, rookie rider. It wasn't gonna be anything I couldn't handle.
I because I don't ride, I don't go long distance motorcycle riding. I think that if I was going to buy a new bike right now, I would err on the side of the most terrifying thing I could get.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to happen, but you know what I mean? Like if I was going to buy a new bike, I would want something that could just go mind-numbingly fast.
Yeah.
And it just like made me shit my pants. I was on. I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to ride it. That's how terrifying it would be.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's happened. Like a lot of bikes in the 80s were like, geez, this is like so. The Honda made like a Magnum or something, and guys were like, no, this is too much bike.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's still a thing.
Yeah.
And I had a boss who was a really, really good motorcycle rider, racer, all of that. He was, getting a little bit older, but he had a buddy that owned a motorcycle shop, and that guy would bring by super hot shit every once in a while, and he'd take it out, and he'd come back and he'd be like, holy shit.
And
this bike is scary as hell.
And you have to hang on for dear life. And that's 20 something Matt talking after a couple of beers. Like the reality is that, I kind of like to just putt around the neighborhood these days.
Sometimes electric bikes are too fast.
But I love the idea of going fast on a motorcycle, though it's been many, many years since. Let's thank the rest of our sponsors. John and Cheryl from Bitterroot Guitars. I've done some videos for them. They're out of town right now. They won't be back until the 5th of December. So if you guys have ordered parts from Bitterroot, it's going to take a little while to get, but they ship fast all the time, and they're super, super cool people. Yep. Dan and Calvin at Tone Wood Experts, formerly Guitar Wood Experts. I need to call them again because we have a mountain of ash blanks and maple neck blanks, but I'm going to need more already. I'm already low. And if you guys want to get in on the action too, Dan and Calvin at Tone Wood Experts, swamp ash coming out of their ears. They got it all. It's the good stuff kids go for. I got an email from Oscar at, excuse me.
It's a weird name.
Oscar at Hipshot. All right. If anyone's saying bless you right now, that was 2. The next one, you're allowed to say, get your shit together, man. Oscar at Hipshot said that he was telling us about our contour bridges. They're on the way. And he's like, hey, and I recently discovered your YouTube channel. I'm a subscriber. I'm a fan. So that was cool. Yeah. Cool. Hipshot is a sponsor of ours in a way that we don't really talk about very much because Josh and the guys at Hipshot really have risen to the occasion to be cool to us.
Yeah. Yep.
Did I miss anybody?
This is a funny comment. What? Lefty O says safety third. And with a nickname like Lefty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe.
Don't put your hand in the hand chopping offing machine.
Yeah. I wasn't always Lefty. I used to be Mark.
Is there another super chat?
I don't think so.
Okay. What's up with the super chats, you guys? Super chat away. I'm not above, begging for money. Yeah, do it. Hey, Doug Santaniello is here. Doug, I don't think I sent an invoice to Doug for the Hot Coral Essex guitar. Doug, I know you're good for it. I'll send it to you. I've got so much like accounting stuff to do. Yeah. So
yeah,
I know you're not worried about it, and if you're not worried about it, I'm not worried about it.
Yep. Lefty says he has all his fingers.
How about his toes?
Try and keep it that way. Yeah. How about all your toes?
He didn't say
Yeah. You get that nickname several different ways.
Sure, you bet. Yeah.
Could also just because he's a lefty. He
could be left-handed and like he like does a bunch of arm wrestling stuff, and his left hand is like super big. Yeah. It's like super pumped.
That's probably what it is. Toes.
His left arm's like all yoked.
Yoked. I don't know what that even. I saw it on Joe Rogan from, but yeah, I know. Yeah, I know it's a thing. It's all yoked.
Yoked.
Does that mean veiny?
I think it means everything. Yeah.
Super chat. Doug says, "I'll just send you some cash."
Doug, let me send you an invoice, and
just start sending hundreds. Like
Doug will actually start sending hundreds. Yeah, no, I'll send you an invoice in the morning, Doug.
Yeah, cool.
You know why I'm going to wait till the morning to do that, Chris?
No.
Because I have band practice tonight.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And as of the last time, Hawk Attack was not exactly ready for prime time. And we go live for the first time in a couple of years when this beer is ready December 10th. We're fast running out of time to get.
Yeah, you are.
You
better get markedly better tonight.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
And come up with a set list instead of just effing around.
Yeah.
Like I know you're doing.
Yeah.
And buckle down.
Gotta buckle down.
Mister.
Gotta buckle down.
Come by and straighten
and just crack the whip.
Yeah.
There's so many people who crack the whip.
Like managerial and be like, yeah. I'll go all Brian.
Chris is all like, that's as good as it's gonna get. And it won't get that good again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, I think we're gonna be okay. Yeah. I remember all my parts. All I do is just ride that A, and it's ain't no thing. Yeah.
Yeah, just wait until everybody else starts, and then you jump in.
Yeah.
Wait a measure, and then come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds cool. Every song.
It sounds cool every time.
Yeah.
Yep. It's gonna be fun. The better I already ruined it. The more you drink, the better we sound. Mm-hmm. Now, and this is how Jim is getting me. So Jim's going on second. Normally, I like to be the guy who goes on first and basically smoke the turkeys who are going on after me. The turkeys in this case would be Jim and his band full of turkeys.
Yeah.
And which will happen, but he's kind of, hedging his bets toward everyone will be half in the bag by the time they go on. And he does songs about watching pornographic movies.
And his dog.
And his dog, yeah.
Yeah. Christmas presents.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think we're going to open with Wang Dang Sweet Poontang.
There you go.
Maybe not.
The long version.
Yes.
That's the only song you're going to play.
We should just play that.
That would be sweet.
Just come out and clobber everyone with one song, like sonically assaulting and mind-numbingly loud. A 12-minute Wang Dang Sweet Poontang solo. Yeah, that would be
perfect. That would be funny.
And it would be in keeping with the Hawk Attack philosophy, which is.
Go ahead.
Would imagine like the video for that would just be like a mag wheel doing a burnout for the entire time. That's it.
Although since it is Cridman time, you need to play "Take Me to the Liquor Store" for Cridman.
That's a good one.
It is a good one. Yeah.
Hey, are you and I and Jim doing a Christmas song?
I don't know.
There's talk of you and I and Jim doing a Christmas song.
Oh, yeah, there was. And then I thought it sort of died off. I haven't thought about that.
Well, there's talk of you and Jim and myself doing the Ventures Sleigh Ride. Oh. One of the best Cridman songs of all time. Okay. It is likely that you had one too many when we were talking about that.
Yeah. Although, I mean, that was just idle chit chat.
That was just beautiful drunk talk.
I'd have to actually practice it. So,
well, I don't know what you're doing.
Get on it. Yeah.
Off you go then.
Yeah. All right.
Cool. All right. So what, we got anything more that we need to, anything else that we need to catch up with?
Can I order beer for Christmas gifts? Yes. Once it comes out, we'll figure all that out. This next week we'll
did
figure all that
miss
out.
a sponsor, Odyssey Beer Works in beautiful Arvada, Colorado. Chris and Dina are very, very nice people. Chris actually came by yesterday and he brought us some something.
He did. He brought us these to show us these. And he brought us a couple of 6-packs.
Yeah. Well, are they anything that like I'm able to drink, or are they like way too high test?
They're too high test.
I'm a lightweight beer drinker.
Yeah.
I'm a lightweight drinker. I can't pay the freight.
He brought our favorites over.
Okay.
Yeah, which was cool.
What are our favorites?
Well, they're Jim's favorites. The Ghost Drifter and the American Lager. I can't remember what it's called right this second because I had 2 of them last night.
You guys stayed later than I did.
Yeah, we stayed. We were here for another 15 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Not that late, but yeah.
Never mind. So anyway, well, I think we should just go ahead and wrap this up. We talked about all sorts of guitar stuff. We talked about motorcycle stuff. We talked about all of our great sponsors. And I have to go to band practice.
You do. And we got to get out of the way for Dylan.
That's right. Dylan. So I want you guys to all go and check out Dylan's live stream. He's going to be talking about everything cool under the sun, probably. He's probably going to be talking about me. But he might be. He won't be, but he might be. He might be talking about you. He might be talking about like, hey, are our shirts still on sale? Because we have matching.
They are until
matching shirts
until Sunday at midnight.
Geez, you're just giving away the store. Do they all have? Or what are the most popular ones for the sale?
The number one is always the Powered by Evil.
Not this one.
Big logo. No.
I love this shirt. I mean, it's too big for me.
This one's pretty good right now.
I want to get an L one of these. The good shirt. So you can get this in a couple of different.
I thought this was the good shirt.
It is the good shirt, but it's an XL. So I want an L version of this. Okay. All right. Hey, Corey types, and Corey, we have your fretboard, by the way. Are you accepting gifts for Toys for Tots at the Xmas party? Oh, that's a great question. Yes. If you guys want to come to the Christmas party, the Cridman party, and you want to bring a toy for Toys for Tots, we will absolutely be accepting gifts for Toys for Tots there. And you guys already know this, but it's a neat thing to give a Christmas present to a needy kid. It just makes you feel good, and they have a little bit better Christmas. And absolutely, if you guys want to bring Christmas presents, we will absolutely take them, and that would be very, very cool.
Oh, they're for the Toys for Tots, not just for us?
No, they're not for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay too.
You could, but you know what you could do? You could get something that you think, hey, that looks cool. I would like to play with that. And some kid would be really, really happy to have that.
Yeah. Well, I already have mine. I just haven't brought it in yet.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah.
It's funny because I always think about like a little kid.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. I don't think about like and I probably should, but I always think about a little kid.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, I'm bringing the best toy ever made. So.
Well, I know what that is.
Yeah.
I guess we'll just see.
If anybody knows me, they know what it is.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That's very cool of you, Chris. Okay. Well, guys, I think that is pretty much going to wrap us up. So, a week from tomorrow, the Odyssey Beer Works, Hawk Attack, the Texas Toast, Odyssey Beer Works, Hawk Attack, Jimmy, in that order, Cridman party. And be there or be square, bring a toy for Toys for Tots, and you will be rewarded with a good feeling. We've got maybe a reveal tomorrow. We don't know.
We're waiting on a couple of pesky parts.
Yeah.
If we get them.
We have strings. Okay.
Yes.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah. And if we get the parts, we'll have at least a couple of them done. Yeah.
Yep. We've got a class starting Monday, Build the Classic Fender. 6 guys coming in, including my very, very, very good friend, brother from another mother, Ian Monkey, you know him as. And I'm glad to have Monkey here because if we ever need any help at a class, we want to have Monkey be here because he's a good guy.
Yeah, he is a good guy. Yep.
So, all right. You have anything else, Chris?
No.
All right, guys. Well, I got to get ready to go to band practice. We will see you possibly tomorrow. If not, we'll definitely see you Sunday. This is Matt from Texas Toast reminding you that life is short. You might as well have a cool guitar. And if you're so smart, start your own YouTube channel. That's what I did. We'll see you guys next time.